And we're live. Hey guys, welcome to a cracking installment of the Maponyane Show. We are live on location today in London with none other than the man, the legend, Maponyane. Welcome back to the Maponyane Show, dude.
How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing so well, man.
I think I might maybe I'll accept a bit of the man, but the legend is my old man. You know, I have a long way before I can earn that status.
Yeah, you're still in the shadow, dude. It's fine, but that's why we're here today. So, thank you for hosting us, first of all.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are at Buns Out, which is your new entrepreneurial venture, one of many.
So excited about this, man.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So I've got 20 of my staff here today, so we're going to be tasting all the buns.
Yeah.
But what exactly is Buns Out? Where did this whole thing come from? Because I mean, you're wearing tights.
It's the first time I've worn tights here. That's for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why is a healthy, fit guy like you like peddling burgers?
Okay, so that's I think it's also just a coincidence that you've come in today. So I've had about 16 burgers in the last 5 days to a week. And after my 16th one yesterday, I was like, I think I need to start exercising again. I've been to gym 3 times this year because it's been work. And now I'm like, okay, I need to get into this like lifestyle again. And you know, it's something that finally started about 3 months ago, having a conversation with my best mate from school, a guy over there, a guy behind the counter in our establishment right now, in our restaurant called Tom Savage, right?
Okay.
And Tom is my business partner. We've known each other and have been close friends since we were 6, so known each other for 23 years.
Amazing.
And he's been in hospitality for about a decade.
Wow.
And I've always been obsessed with food, and I've always wanted to open my own restaurant. And when I was a kid, I always said I'd open my first restaurant before I turned 30. And I'm 29 this year. And, you know, times it's just been kind of ticking over. And Tom's been dominating, managing different restaurants around.
Hi, Tom.
Managing different restaurants from the UK to SA. And in SA, he helped manage Social on Main, the Collection, Saigon Susie.
Very cool.
And Tom was always just like the guy kind of like in the shadows. He does that incredibly well, being in those shadows. But he wanted to finally own his own thing, you know, and be able to run it according to, his own beliefs and his laws, because there's some places where he doesn't quite line up with his bosses, you know.
Yeah.
And so he knew how much, I'm into, how much of a serial entrepreneur I am, how much I'm into food, and how I've been wanting to open a restaurant. And I didn't think he realized how serious I was about it. And we started the conversation 3 months ago about starting a pizza restaurant.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
We were going to start a pizza restaurant, and we're looking for the right spot, and we're looking for, the right location to really get people coming in. And the whole inspiration behind it just being pizza, so it's going to be pizza and desserts. And it's a place that we've been working on. I'll give you a little bit of a... why not? I'll give you a little bit of a exclusive. So we still will do pizza in the future, and it's going to be called Pizza Cake.
Pizza cake?
Pizza cake, like a piece of cake. And we're just going to do pizzas and cake. We were finding different places, but each of them didn't allow for a pizza oven. Or maybe they already had another pizza place. And then we found this place. So this place used to be called The Apartment. And if you come to Buns Out, you'll see it says by The Apartment. And that's because of how quickly we had to flip this and, move away from, make our lives easier with transfers and everything. So we bought the apartment and we just traded as Buns Out. And we came here and we're going to do our pizza restaurants here, and it's going to be a very social.
You're going to do it in here?
We were going to do it in here,
okay.
But we couldn't have a pizza oven because this is an apartment above us. So we're at the bottom and it's a fire hazard.
Yeah,
so there were a whole bunch of things around that. So then we had to pivot 3.5 weeks ago to burgers. Tom calls me, he's like, listen, I know we want to do one thing specifically, either pizzas or burgers or something. So I know our plan has been pizzas first, but we're going to do burgers. And I'm like, great. Okay, cool. We're doing burgers then. And from having the conversation about doing burgers to opening Buns Out was about three weeks, 3.5 weeks. We flipped this entire place in about 5 days, had a great interior team led by a lady called Catherine Riley and her team. We got the whole design and brand identity done by another great talented illustrator called Rebecca Taylor. Tom knows exactly what he's doing in terms of finding the right staff and everything. And yeah, I help in terms of handling, what would I say, marketing in a big way, of course, being able to, we're co-owners of the space, being able to ensure that we have an impeccable product, because at the end of the day, if our product isn't really what brings people back all the time, then we won't have a great, we won't have a great customer base or regular customers coming back, because people will get over me after their first visit. Cool, it's
especially if you're wearing tights.
Especially if I'm wearing, well, it depends who you ask. Yeah. You can see my buns better in tights. So, how do you make sure that people are like, geez, I even forgot that Maps is part of that place. I just I'm just going there because it's the best burger in town.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really working towards. Every single part of our burgers that sort of step towards being that best burger that everyone wants to come and enjoy. Great environment, nice and sleek interiors, a bit of a modern minimalist, but still cool. You could be anywhere in the world as well in the space. Could be a New Yorkie kind of space, could be London, could be Cape Town, whatever it is. And I think we're definitely onto something, and it's growing in a big way. Obviously, there's a few hiccups here and there. We don't have a liquor license.
When's that coming?
Geez.
6 months.
How long is a piece of rope? You know, like
it's hard, man.
You don't know, but it's been coming for the last 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you don't need alcohol to be successful, right?
100%.
Your product's not the booze. Your product's the burgers.
We've got great neighbors, Hashi, El Jalapeno, and Tonic, and you can get alcohol from there and come here.
Yeah.
You can go down to the bottle store down the road, bring your own alcohol from home, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We also give away free alcohol. We've got. Today, actually, on Friday, we're doing this thing with Hunters, where whatever burger you order and you want some alcohol, you can grab a Hunters for free.
Sweet.
And that's it. And that's how we keep people also sort of realizing that we are trying to accommodate them as much as possible. But then there's the other business side of things of alcohol makes people sit and stay and not move. And this place gets packed, right? And we've had lines going out the front door and turning down the street, and people are happy to wait. But if you're sitting and taking up the seating space, we're not turning tables as quick as we want. And alcohol encourages that. As much as your wet ends up being one of the best parts of your margin in the business, your wet products, it also for us, if we can't turn tables quickly, non-stop, it ends up being a bit of a hindrance. It hamstrings how well you can run your business, how smoothly you can have people coming in and out, how happy you can keep your customers. And so, as you say, our business is burgers and making great burgers. And if you want alcohol for now, you can go anywhere else. And it's also the type of alcohol that we put out. It needs to be something that's a quick drinking, fast, great burger, complimentary thing that will allow you to enjoy your time while you're here and then move on somewhere else to enjoy the rest of your day. And so, yeah,
cool, man.
It's, it works out quite well for us for now that we don't have, because it's such a crazy busy time.
I'm excited about that. Was a very long answer.
Sorry about that.
But you did well.
Sorry, my answer was meant to be, it was just a dream, and then we started and it was like 3 months, and now we're here.
So burgers is interesting, right? I mean, you got the traditional players, Burger King, McDonald's, you got Rocker Mamas, you've got loads of fast food outlets. And what I'm fascinated to explore with you is this idea of like there's always room for one more.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If your product can stand the test of the test of taste here.
Yeah.
And hopefully my burger, which is, just for the record, a new baconings. I'll talk to you about I want to hear more about the product in a second.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're going to get that burger. I'm going to try it out.
On that, actually.
Is it here? We
have 20 burgers ready for the Matt Brown Show crew. So I'd actually love to serve you while you
go away. You go away. So Maps, for our listeners out there, has left the table in his tights. He's going to get me my burger, which is arriving.
You're going to get the first new baconings. And just very quickly for those at home, new baconings, all our burgers come with chips. So new baconings is a beautiful beef patty with cheese, amazing, red onions, tomato, some avocado, we got a secret sauce that we put in there, and some chili feta, and of course some bacon in there, which is some really good streaky bacon that you'll enjoy.
These chips are great. I'm loving these chips, so I'm putting chips in my mouth right now. Okay, let me try this burger. You guys, basically Buns Out is in Linden, in Johannesburg. So if you are up in the Joburg area, highly recommend coming down here. I'm just going to sink my teeth into this. Hold on a sec. That is a good burger. So thank you once for hosting us. I love this burger.
Good.
And I'm not just saying that. And just, by the way, let's talk about your menu here. So
Yes.
I have the new Baconings menu.
Yes.
And then you got Blue Boy and Hurley Schnitz, and is it brie you're looking for? And
Yeah.
fries, chicken, and get quinoa. I mean, it's a pretty innovative menu.
Yeah.
How have you approached product design for Buns Out? Because it is different, right?
Yeah. Firstly, we've tried to make the menu as interactive as possible. Something that people can look at and sort of, they first encounter with it, have a bit of a chuckle or a smile to themselves, and immediately feel like, this is something they could definitely, want to try, or what do the new kids say these days? Vibe with, something that resonates with them. Something that seems pretty fun and quite accessible. So, when you're reading things like Blue Boy, and you're reading Is It Brie You're Looking For, it's cool for us to play with it as well. In terms of like product design, from the name to the actual product, we've tried to keep it as beautiful as possible when it comes to presentation, firstly, but also very simple. And we've included fries in all of our orders. You have the option of normal fries or sweet potato fries, and wanted to have an overall incredibly fresh product, one that looks like great value for money.
These are big burgers, by the way.
Exactly. So they're quite big burgers, and we actually have our buns, because of the size of our patties, which we hand mold at the back. We have our buns custom baked every single day by Poles in Marazat.
Okay.
And they're the best bakery
in the
around
world.
and in the world. And so they literally, just for us, we're the only people that they supply with
Awesome.
with buns. And it's been an incredible relationship for the first week and a half. And they've been loving our business, because we came into this thinking if we can just get to 100 burgers a day, we'll be good. And it was something where we're like, it's going to be tough, but let's see what happens. And as soon as I put it out on social media, I mentioned to my team, just brace yourself, because things may get a little bit wild.
How many did you move?
And last week per day, we were averaging as a whole about 300. And on Saturday last week, we had about 420 in one go. And that's with us closing 2.5 hours early. Because we ran out of buns completely. So... And that's another thing. Staying consistent to product is something that's very important for myself and Tom.
Especially when you're moving that kind of volume, right? Because it's quite easy for food to fall apart, kitchen staff,
Exactly. But more so, if we can't just slip in a quick fix just out of greed and trying to make cash or whatever. So what I mean by that is that if our buns run out, and this is our brand, and this is the look of Buns Out. If you look at the logo, the top bun is... it's almost like the sun setting or the sun rising. And that's why we have that golden shining bun as well, that is a beautifully glazed, sort of brioche-esque bun. And if our buns run out, we can't just run to Spar and get more buns and get those kinds of buns, because
so what do you have to
that's
do?
not
Do you
our
have
product.
to close it? Do you have to close
No,
the
we
shop?
close. Or we order more buns. And if they can get to quickly enough, great. But if we can't serve you what our product is, then
it's done.
It's done. That's it.
That's a great approach.
Yeah.
Because most people would cut corners. I say most people. Some people would cut corners.
You're right. Most people would cut corners.
For the bottom line.
It's most people for sure.
And that's great, dude. You know what? Because that's all about authenticity.
Yeah.
And that really does come through with everything you do. I've known you now for quite some time, and then just again in the menu and the tonality of the brand, and what you've just described to me as well. I mean, that's what people, especially youngsters who crave like QSR, so quick serve restaurant type food, which is what you're in. They need that kind of authenticity, because it's lost on big brands like McDonald's and Burger King and various others.
Yeah, and we're trying to move away. Obviously, we can. I love that you said quick serve, because we're not a fast food joint.
Yes.
But because fast food for me always implies very low quality, mass produced, all of that.
Yeah.
And, we have free range meat, 80-20% ratio in our beef patties, 80-20 being 80% meat, 20% fat, so you maintain the juiciness.
Yep.
High quality beef. We've got Beyond Burgers, which is revolutionary. But I'm not sure if you know much about the Beyond Burgers.
What is that?
But they are revolutionary vegan burgers, completely plant-based burgers that freak vegans out because it tastes so much like meat.
Really?
But it's completely plant-based, and it looks like, you see, I'm looking at one of your employees right now.
Who's the lady at Tish?
Yes, Tash. And she's just about to eat her Beyond Burger, but she's not quite sure if it's... No.
Are you veggie?
No, she's veggie.
Who's veggie?
The one in the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Just eat it? Eat it, go.
So she's looking at it because she's not sure if it's meat or not. She doesn't trust that I got the right order. And it sometimes scares vegans where they're like, are you sure this is... So, are you sure this is not vegetarian or whatever?
Does it taste like meat? Does it?
And it's completely plant-based. And it's like one of the most amazing revolutions in the food industry because obviously it's part of ensuring that we're eating more, moving
responsible,
more and more, even
sustainable,
more responsible, yes. Moving away a little bit more from meat.
It's a big trend, dude.
Yeah.
Just make sure you stock like alcohol-free beer. That's a big one as well.
That too, and
that you can stock now.
That for me is always quite contentious because
why?
You look at a lot of these alcohol-free brands, and it's such a fine line as to what alcohol-free is.
0.02%.
Well, apparently it needs to be lower than 0.05. So if you look at all these alcohol brands, they're all around 0.03. And then they call themselves alcohol-free.
Yeah.
And I just always I find it quite funny. Although I guess I'm going to answer my own question here. I find it quite funny and a bit odd that they do that. Because if someone does it for religious reasons, they don't drink alcohol, but I'll have it alcohol-free, and then they see that there's actually a little bit of alcohol in it, then that's problematic. But also, alcohol, when it comes to religion, is something that is all about intention. And if you're going to be having anything from an alcohol brand anyway, then that's your own problem. You know? So
look, if you have 100 of those beers, it would be equivalent to having one. You know, so for the Alcoholics Anonymous people out there,
100%.
Good luck with that.
It would be equivalent to having one, but it could probably be equivalent to having 1 hour on the toilet if you're going to have 100 too.
Yeah. Tell me, can we talk brand for a second? Buns Out.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from, and what is the brand going to stand for? Have you kind of answered any of those questions? Have you given any thought?
So that's a lot more layered. But just for an overview of that, it was just sort of speaking to how. So in the logo design, sort of Rebecca goes into how she wants something to hold the brand. So even if you look at the name Buns Out in our logo, 2 buns are holding the brand name. And throughout our rhetoric and identity all over, there's always 2 buns holding all of what we're doing. So if you look at the menu board, there's 2 buns on top. There's buns on top.
Yeah.
And then there's a buns on the bottom here. And it's always everything captured between 2 buns. A little motif here, buns at the top, buns at the bottom.
Yep.
And it's really just, so the buns and everything. So the name is the food within the content of the buns, and it's the name basically Buns Out is obviously just the fact that you can't have a great burger without
2 buns.
Great buns. 2 buns, yeah. And the better the buns are, the better the burger will be. And Buns Out is basically around, obviously there's some tongue-in-cheek there, emphasis on cheek. It's the cheeky spot for a burger. And Buns Out is just like going out to have, some burger buns or have a few burgers. This is where you go out to get your burgers or go get your buns. And obviously playing on the obvious. And it's just really just a tongue-in-cheek that came together. I would love to claim that I came up with the name. But
who's guilty there?
No one's guilty, but we had a few minds throwing around, and when Buns Out came out, we all decided that would be the one.
That would be the one. Well, that's a cool name, dude. Listen, quickly about launching a new brand, a new product like this. We've just launched this one.
I see a lot of people wearing that. Yeah, that's awesome.
techleadbay.com. We launched on Monday, and then again in Nairobi, and then again Friday here.
Okay.
It's very exciting to launch a new company. What have you learnt about launching, and where did you guys maybe learn or maybe make mistakes in this whole process? I know you pivoted quickly, but when you reflect back on 3 weeks, 4 weeks back, what jumps for you as a big learning about launching a new product, business, brand?
Firstly, that things, but it's something you always know just in business as a whole, things don't always go to plan.
Yeah.
You'll have many promises made about certain deliveries and things that need to be able to be in place so that the next thing can be in place, but lots of people break that chain, so unfortunately you don't have that smooth cycle that you want, with things just going one after another to leading to your launch. Always teething issues. You learn along the way very much, especially when you go in guns blazing and being gung-ho about it, and really taking on the market. You find your market and your positioning and the people around there kind of along the way. It's super important to do your market research before and your R&D before. Take full advantage of taking a few days when you're launching something without sort of launching it. Like, it's really important to test it on numerous people just to see what they think, so you can iron out all your issues before.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, 100%. So the first 2 days of Buns Out, I didn't say a word about it because I wanted our kitchen staff to be able to put out a consistent product. Wanted to see what people complained about the most. Wanted to see what we could improve on. And we made many different changes already. And then I put it out there and said, this is Buns Out and this is what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. And was confident enough to be able to give people the product that we're offering because I believed in it so much and it was so good. And I believed in the service and it would be run well. And as I mentioned, having Tom Savage as my partner, operations would be really good and slick.
Yeah. Just on the menu, what version is this currently?
Of the menu?
Yeah.
This is only like version 2.
Really? Eh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we're gonna version 3 will be probably up in about 2 weeks' time. We've got an incredible local vegetarian and vegan company that would love to be a part of our product. So we'd love to also always be more and more localized as much as possible. So we would love to support them and make them a part of it. So you'll see another version go up quite soon. And then as soon as we have more and more alcohol, and to be honest, with all the social media buzz right now, everyone's trying to jump on it and get their piece of being a part of Buns Out. And so that will lead to the next version of it too. But this is the first version that's been up.
Okay, I'm with you.
And the second version that we've created.
Yes, okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. So it's been
that's cool.
It's been a great learning curve in that regard. And then the last thing about launching, especially in hospitality, but once again, if you're going to be employing people, dealing with people,
dude, worst thing in the world.
Do you know what?
Absolute headache.
I love people. I'm a people's person. But jeepers, if I can open companies where there aren't numerous people involved, or sometimes just anyone else, that would be great. But of course, that would be unsustainable too.
I want a really big business, but a very small team.
Yeah, 100%. How do you achieve that? And thankfully, tech is allowing us to do that more and more.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Tell me something. What have you learned most about yourself when you look back from the idea that you had, Tom phoning you and say, hey man, let's do this thing. What most have you learned about yourself? Something that you recognize maybe as a weakness or something that you feel is an insight that other entrepreneurs can apply? What is that thing?
I think I need to be a lot more cautious on how quickly I trust. Right?
People?
Well, people, yes. Yeah. Definitely to... Look, one thing I've always been good at is taking risks and salivating at the idea of failure. You know this about me.
Good word.
And it's especially
with a burger
context.
In front of me
exactly. While I talk, please continue to eat. I feel
no, dude. I don't eat on camera. I'm not. What's the actor's name, man? Brad Pitt.
Oh, okay.
He can eat on camera
and
anytime.
Yeah. But you got the Brad Pitt looks to it.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So there's that. I've also learned that I need to try and not be as intensely involved in all sorts of things and allow the people who are really good at that to be to focus on that and give them the responsibility that they have earned in their years of experience. And that's something I try and do with Tom. For us, it's needed to be a dance. He can see that I try and be involved as much as possible because it's a brand that's attached to me, my name, my face, as much as it is us. If things aren't of high quality here, then that's a bit of a
reflection on you.
A reflection on me.
Yeah.
And so we've tried to understand each other more and more around that. But he's definitely good at that. And I think, I think it's definitely that, allowing myself to let things go and, allowing myself to just move away from things that don't need to require my presence. But also being very clear on what I expect and how things should work. I think that's definitely been in my benefit and also my detriment because in some places I haven't. And also I've also learned that I'm definitely a person who doesn't sit on things for too long and rather just jumps right in, and with that is happy to learn along the way, and therefore doesn't allow the ideas that pop into my mind rot and sort of just sit there doing nothing, and actually gives them a possible life and allows them to breathe so that they can grow into something that can look after themselves.
2 more questions and then we'll wrap up.
Cool.
Where to from here? I mean, obviously, I was going to say, like, people will say, if I had to say, go, oh, you must check out Buns Out in Linden, and then I'll go, it's Maponyane's restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people will always, as you say, associate the personal brand with the brand, or give it credence to get people to come in, or friends, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, where are you going to go to from here? I mean, I know it's a big question. You guys have just launched.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's your ambition here?
It's a good question. So where to from here considering Buns Out?
Yeah.
Once again, between you and I, with how it's taken off and with how promising it's been. With our first 2 days, people were like, oh, when are you going to franchise? Please can you bring it to here? Please can you bring it there? Please. We've had people, last week, we had people come from Potchefstroom, Rustenburg, Durban, Eastern Cape, Cape Town, Pretoria, just people traveling here literally to come and have the Buns Out burgers. And it's just been this beautiful, for me there's a great balance here. There's been a beautiful hype around it, and then a great backing of actually being a wonderful product. It's not just hype. And it's become the spot where everyone, as soon as they get the food, you might see, be very wary of like the interactions around here. You'll see when the food arrives, people want to take pictures of the food, say they were here, and then also pictures as well, which I'm more than happy to take. But also for, as I mentioned at the start of the interview, then eat the food and say, damn, it's actually not just the hype. That was actually really, really good. And then you've secured the people. And as a result, we've actually seen with how lean we've been with the model to create everything and how we were able to flip this entire place in 5 days and what we know requires into going to creating that space and what we know about our markets now and what we know about our demand versus the supply so far. And it's only been 2 weeks. We'll really have a great insight into that in the next month, because you could come in here perhaps next week, who knows, and might be dead. You don't know how these things work. Well,
not you can predict that, by the way.
You can. I mean, we were in charge of a lot of that.
A lot of that,
yes, absolutely. So, seeing how that goes, we're looking at perhaps even by the start of next year, January or February, opening another Buns Out either in Pretoria or Cape Town.
Yeah.
So that would be the next one. And then a couple more, but I don't know about franchising. Because once again, I can't franchise something that is, for me, I feel attached to my name, because I'm pedantic, OCD. I'm all about the small details, and that really bugs me, because if you get the basics right, everything else falls into place. And how Tom and I complement each other is that he's a complete opposite of that. Tom's this bigger picture. And I always have to bring Tom back, and then he always has to also help me see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But I've always been really good at doing the sort of putting in the stepping stones to that point. And Tom loves to see that and then leap straight there. But a lot of the time when you leap straight there and something happens and you can't sort of take a step back because there's got this cavity or this void because you didn't do it, in that stepping phase, then it can be, but we complement each other, because he fills in my, my shortcomings, and I try and do the same for him. But he's also the one with the experience, and I always have to remember that I must never, ever, undermine his authority within the space, and I try and make him, realize that that's where, because honestly speaking, initially he never expected that I would be as involved as I am. But for me, it's paramount to its success that I'm as involved as I am.
Which is
as I
great,
say,
by the way, because you can't have two founders and one's busy doing other things necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we now and again trip over each other's feet. But we're slowly becoming really good dancers that are managing to dance to the same rhythm and tune.
Awesome.
And that's what it's about, I think. I think the success of a business is having a team that can be really well choreographed in developing a great bigger dance that people love to watch and be a part of, that creates some sort of longevity for a brand.
Cool. I wanted to offer something to you. Feel free to decline it. But
Sure.
Would you like to meet Brian Altrich, the founder of Rockamumbles? Do you know him?
Oh yeah, I've never met him before.
Haven't you?
But I've definitely read a couple of his interviews and everything.
He'd be a great sounding board.
Sure,
especially now.
If you would be keen, that'd be great. So
I'll set it up for you.
Cool. Thank you.
Last
very much.
one. Why this? Why now?
Because there's no time like the present. Because if I give you a technical answer around that, then it would be the most stupid decision, and I'll tell you why. But firstly, very simple to why this, why now, is because there's no time like the present, and because I want to, and because I have, I feel I have the right person to do it with.
Awesome.
And then the technical answer, which makes no sense, is that I'm in the busiest phase of my life. It's been so ridiculously crazy for me. So fortunate to be backed up in my schedules, traveling like crazy. I don't know, my backside from my head right now. Things are just running like
very technical
crazy.
Answer.
Things are running like a train that's just not stopping. I'm just going, having so many projects I'm so fortunate to work on. The economy is looking terrible right now for us. We'll be lucky if we even grow by 1% next year. Food and retail is really, really down in a bad way. Disposable income is low. It would be a terrible decision to go into it. So yeah, why not open a burger joint? Well, so when I talk to you about it like that, then it sounds absolutely stupid. But once again, you just also never know unless you take that big leap.
Well, the thing about a flat market is that it's actually the best time to launch.
100%. There's also that.
If you make it and the market turns. Yeah, no, we don't tell people that. Yeah, that's what we've done.
Yeah.
Maps, dude, what a pleasure to have you back on the show. And the food's great. I love what you're building here. I really look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do in the future. Eh?
Thank you so much. Can I? Do you mind if I get
bring
Tom to jump on?
Everybody, come meet Tom. Tom.
Sorry. So everyone, this is Tom Savage. He's my business partner. He's very much the brains behind the project.
Okay.
And I'd love for him to say a few words.
Tom, welcome, buddy.
Cheers, thanks, man.
Nice one, dude. So here you went to school with Maps, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was 12 years of pure pain.
I'm sure.
But he turned out all right in the end.
23 or 12, because he was saying it was 23 years of pain or something like that.
We've known each other for 23 years.
Yeah.
I took a 10-year break.
Yeah.
And then we've kind of just stayed in touch over the years, and now we kind of see each other every day. So,
okay.
Yeah, fun and games.
So obviously your name's Tom Savage. You've built a savage menu here. Where does your kind of innovation or thinking come from when it comes to building a product like this?
So my principles in business are quite simple. It's keep it simple. And one of my key strengths is being able to allow other people to work to their strengths. So I kind of just briefed my girlfriend, actually, who's quite good at cooking, and just said to her, come up with a menu that is simple, easy, and accessible. And that's kind of where
by the way, a hard thing to do.
Well.
Actually, think about it. I mean, a burger is a burger, right? In theory, and then you can have like a bazillion combinations. So it's actually quite hard to choose. Like that's what is going to go on. Is it brie you're looking for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think then when we sat down to discuss the menu, we kind of just conceptualized that it would be 3 sections of accommodating everybody. So your classic section kind of appeals to your easygoing burger goer.
Uh-huh.
So you've just got cheese, onion, lettuce, tomato, that kind of stuff. Then you've got a vegetarian and vegan option, which we felt was very important in today's day and age. We think there's a lot more people going towards eating
healthy,
healthy,
alternative food,
conscious,
sort of
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to have a section where we can experiment with stuff, So not just having your run-of-the-mill burgers, we want to do some fun stuff, and that's where stuff like the Go Nuts and the Is It Brie You're Looking For comes from, and it's a chance for us to express ourselves on there without losing too much control.
So you two obviously have known each other a long time. There's a thing, I don't know whether you've heard about it, Maps, but it's like you never go into business with family or friends. Have you been told that before? And so I'd like to ask you, Tom, is that true? Is that a truism, or is it something that entrepreneurs should be ignoring here, based on your own experience working with Maps around this thing?
Do I have to be honest?
Yes,
or
absolutely. Be fucking honest.
Look, it's not always easy, but I think for me in business, it's whether you're in it with family or friends. We actually have a third partner who's my father, of all things. So I've broken all the rules.
Why don't you just make it more
boundaries.
complicated, Tom?
If I've learned something in business, it's about compromise.
Okay.
And I think whether you're in there with family or friends or not, you're always going to end up in a position where you have to reach a place that you understand each other. So maybe in contradicting that saying, it's that it's easier to do it with family and friends because you kind of understand each other anyway. So to reach that compromise, to reach that understanding is easier than with somebody you don't know.
The trust is there, you know what I'm saying? And that's the important thing. What Maps is saying, he's got to trust you to do what you need to do and vice versa. And that's and that takes time sometimes to build. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll give you and I, let's do another one. Let's do a pizza and cake story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be very different if it was, you and me versus you and Maps with your history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think like you touched on it, is that trust part where, he just lets me do what I need to do. And he trusts that it'll get done. And, I let him do what he needs to do. And I trust that it'll get done. So if we... this morning I've been running around making sure we've got enough patties, that we've got enough lettuce.
Buns, don't forget the buns.
Yeah, that we've got enough buns. He actually looks after the buns.
Are you the buns? Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, look what he's wearing. God,
have you seen those buns?
Yes. I think we're going to... Maverick, can we get a tights on the buns?
Buns or guns?
I'm talking about the buns in the kitchen, my man.
Cool. So, Tom, just one quick question. What's your why around this? Why are you doing this now?
So I've been... there's a long answer and there's a short answer to this.
However you want to do it.
I've been in hospitality for 11 years. I went on a gap year in 2009. I'm still on a gap year. And I actually started off working in a bar. I used to wash glasses for a living. That's what I did. And for some reason, it hooked me. I was done. That was it. I loved the industry. I loved the ability to interact with people. I loved the fact that I didn't have to sit in an office every day and look at an Excel spreadsheet and then sort of go home at 5 o'clock and hope that my life came together. I really enjoyed being active and living a different lifestyle. But hospitality is hard, and you work long hours, late nights, weekends. So you miss out on a lot of things, families, birthdays, weddings, funerals, all that kind of thing. And I think I got to the point where I had worked my way up through being a bartender, then into management, and then I'd worked for a company that was about 38 to 40 bars operated, so it was a big operation. Sure. I left to come back to work in South Africa. I grew up here, it's where my heart is. But it never changed. The whole way through hospitality was always, you work 65 hours a week, you're there until 3 in the morning, you're under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress. And some point through the last year, I started to feel like, what if we could build something that was in hospitality, but that didn't revolve around that looked after its people in a way that the rest of the world looks after its people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so we created this company called Savage Holdings that is about our statement, our mission is to create better hospitality for everybody. And we firmly believe that starts with our employees. And as an example, I mean, in hospitality, you don't get public holidays off. So over Easter, where your normal corporate environment gets, I think, we worked it out. If you took 4 days of holiday, you got 18 days of leave.
It's crazy.
It's mad. You
It's
basically
madness.
take April off.
Yeah.
But in hospitality, you don't get that. So we've given our employees, you get 35 days of holiday.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They get a free meal every night.
course.
So for every shift they work, they get a free meal.
Amazing.
And then everybody is on a profit share.
Really?
So whatever
interesting.
whatever we take through the business, it's in the interest of everybody to look after it, because at the end of the day, it impacts what they take home at the end of the day.
Is that paid out monthly?
Monthly, yeah.
Monthly, yeah. And is that capped?
No.
No, it's
No.
not capped, really, yeah?
Nope.
That's amazing. It's something I've been toying with in my own business as well. Something I'm seriously considering. Definite yes on that? Profit share with staff to keep them focused, treat the business like it's their own. Definite yes, or you kind of maybe...
I
I
think
know it's a tough one.
Maybe a bit too early to
tell.
understand that yet.
Yeah.
I think I'm 90% of the way to saying yes.
Really? That's good enough.
And I think again in hospitality you got an element of theft that happens because there's so much access to stuff like cold drinks, beer, tequila,
Shrinkage.
Exactly. And I don't think you ever eliminate that, but I think you can take steps towards reducing it. And I think if people feel like they belong to something or they own something, then they're less likely to
do that
kind
Because
of
they
thing.
think their business is their own, so why would you steal from yourself?
Exactly.
So that's a good point.
And then if somebody is doing that the guys who aren't will inherently weed them out, because you're not just stealing from the owners,
Yeah.
you're stealing from me as well.
Yeah.
And it'll hit them, it'll hurt them a little bit if they see somebody else doing that.
And also it'll stand you guys in good stead in terms of this culture, right? So if and when you do decide to open up a store 2, 3, etc., that it's that same culture that would spread across, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we hope to build, I think. And, I'm not saying we're going to Cape Town soon, but...
Maps is.
Huh?
You know about that.
We're also not saying we're not.
I'm pretty sure he's going to Tokyo next week. Doesn't mean we're opening a Buns Out there. It's,
Yeah, Buns Out in Tokyo.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's kind of it's us, really.
Tom, Maps, best of luck to you boys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Appreciate it.
Super chuffed for you.
Thank you.